Hello everyone, welcome back to another part of Force Marriage. I hope you will love it. Jungkook left early again, and next morning he was in a slightly better mood than what he was before bed. And today he was more bored than anything. The day had no meaning, just another day at work, feeling like today he was more bored than anything. The day has no meaning, just another day at work. Feeling like this just added another one. The irritation. They had a night with no nightmares. It wasn't an easy night, but he didn't have any dreams. He tossed and turned all around. Fitful night, however, once it was time to get out of the bed, it was hard to find motivation. He just wanted to stay in bed and go back to sleep, but he also knew he had a guest coming over, so he dragged his body out of the bed and onto the bathroom. He turns on the bath and lies down in the water, too hot for his skin to handle. He didn't get out until there was a knock on the door. Tete, Mr. Jeon, Yoongi is here to see you. I'm coming, Granny. They says and started to drain the water, get ready, and came down. They brought down his computer also, hoping that Yoongi might know the Wi-Fi password. It felt so stupid. This little desire of his, all he wanted was to use the internet, but thing after thing just getting worse for him. Once Taehyung is downstairs, he says, I'm sorry about the wait, Yoongi. I was in bath and lost track of time. I also didn't know what time you are coming. They forced a smile and laughed. He was actually glad to see someone who is nice to him. It's okay, Tae. Also call me Hyung. Yoongi said, how about we get started? Taeyang started to feel better being in Yoongi's presence. He was like a shining star in the family, much like his younger brother Hoseok. Together, the two moved to the dining room table and sat across each other. So, they can you just give me the basic about what you can do and then a list of shows and plays you have done. Yoongi gave him a smile and opens up the iPad to write down things. Answer, well, I am an actor and I do have dancing experience, especially in tap and jazz. They continue to give a rundown and all and so he has been in since freshman year of school. It was a good number of shows and he proud of roles he has landed. Nice day, Yoongi exclaimed when he finished. He blushed a little. This is awesome. Repeat, to have got. Why are you so amazing, Taehyung? So, what are you normal? Audition songs. He was blushing like crazy, not offended. Was offered. Was he complimented for a ballad? I'd crushing praise from an. I just like to have fun with the song Hyung. Okay, can you pull up and break track on your computer so I can listen? Yoongi says while trying typing on his computer. About that, they looked down embarrassed. Jungkook hasn't given it to me yet. I was hoping that you knew the password. My brother is he's sick. I will call him and say that I need it. He pulls out his phone and Yoongi said, a half hour earlier, Jungkook was working in his office like every other weekend. Jungkook was busy in work, but his mind drifted to the redhead boy. Taehyung got to see some of Taehyung's from his younger age and his mother. He was wondering why Taehyung was in this situation. Something didn't sit right. Finally, Cook realized that he actually had work to do. He took out some files that he was working on but realized that he forgot one at home. He dropped his head down to his desk and cursed out loud. It wasn't the first time, but was irritated each time. He walked out of his office and spoke to the receptionist in a frank tone. I left some files at house and will be back in about 30 minutes. The new receptionist nodded and went back to her work. He basically huffed and puffed his way on his trip down the elevator and to his car. His forgetfulness did not help him with his mood. After his 10 minutes ride, Jungkook made it safely to his apartment to hit the file. In the elevator, he got a text from his brother Yoongi. What is the password to the Wi-Fi at your place? Jungkook didn't think much of it as he sensed the complicated Wi-Fi password as his doorstep. He heard something. It was most likely Yoongi. His young liked to use the gym for free at his place. But it was more than just that. It was singing a male singer, and there weren't many males in his place to sing like this. The song was unfamiliar to him and the voice was barely unrecognizable. Jungkook got quiet coming in the house because he couldn't help but hear more. I'm gonna be a celebrity. That means someday somebody everyone knows they are gonna recognize my eyes, my hair, my teeth, my nose. Jungkook stepped out of the hallway and saw Taehyung singing by the back corner as his brother Yoongi sits at the dining room table watching Taehyung. He was moving and acting in a way Jungkook has never seen. Frankly, he was a little needy. Taehyung moved his hips, but the beat interesting. Anyone who would watch him in the audience when he sang Hey My Boo, he even gave his own a little tip. The shiver went down Jungkook's spine. What is wrong with me? He started to feel just disgusted with himself. Not only was he lusting over the boy, not any boy, but also his wife. Taehyung clearly hasn't seen his husband and just continued like how he would at the audition. The music stopped and Yoongi started clapping. That was fantastic. You played the character amazing. You fit into that role so well. Yet you are so shy. That is some pretty good acting. Again, he was blushing like crazy, hearing this comment coming from his young and annoyed by how much everyone loved the boy. Jungkook said, I bet he is really acting his heart out. He was frozen by his with new fear. He was in his way. He wanted to apologize, but no words could leave his mouth anymore. Yoongi spoke to him. Are you serious, Cook? He is just auditioning and practicing for me. This is a season, and even though it is your house, I am with my client. Yoongi had his back for sure. Whatever. Jungkook pushed himself off the wall and went to his office to grab the file. He left even before they could start his next song. He was very grateful for this because he was still frozen. Yoongi could see the tension between the new weights, and it wasn't needy tension like how Yoongi hoped. It was awkward, but felt tension. He could help but ask, Hey, what happened between you guys after 2 days? You look terrified. Didn't know what to say. On one hand, he could say the truth that Jungkook screamed at him last night and he was now a little scared of him. On the other hand, it felt silly to him that he was so scared of being yelled at. They had good reason to fear a strong, violent tone, but he wasn't at the point where he can tell Yoongi these fears, so he said, "It's nothing really." Hey, Yoongi seriously looked into his eyes. I know what you are trying to do, Thay, but I also know that it is not true. Nothing never means nothing. Thay sighed. He wasn't getting away from this. Okay, Hyung, but please don't tell anyone. I feel really stupid about it. Young replied, "Cross my heart, hope to die." This made Thay smile a second, however. Dropped when he told the story from last night. Well, I went to his office to ask for his Wi-Fi password and he screamed at me like really bad. Called me a little bot. It's really not that big of deal, but it kind of freaked me out. I'm sorry, Thay. My little brother is a big pain in his bump. The He wishes Yoongi could tell the truth about his brother, why he lashes out like that and has these mood swings, but it was not his place to say. But it also not an excuse. A little bit, they whispered, looking out of window. Okay, let's continue on because I'm not getting any younger. They sang the other song which Yoongi thought was beautiful and well done. They talk about the Broadway audition process. They also needed to have a monologue prepared. Yoongi knows the market fairly well. Gave him a note to memorize by the Wednesday. Mrs. Lee started to cook dinner. They asked if Yoongi wanted to stay, but he said that he had a date. Yoongi looked extremely excited, and that made Taehyung really excited too. They walked his new young friend and manager to the door. I will see you Wednesday for your first audition. Get a good night's sleep and wear something nice. Bye. Thank you, Hyung. Bye. They ended his night. Not long after dinner, he went to his room. He watched Netflix. Hearing Jungkook came in fairly late at night. The movie he was watching made him extra sleepy. He soon drifted off and had not dreamed to keep him time escape. Few days, Taehyung was almost busy in his preparation for his audition, so he did not meet Jungkook often, and Jungkook also was busy in work. Today, Taehyung did the audition with Yoongi and went well. He had lunch with Yoongi and they talked about Yoongi's life and they came back home. While Jungkook, he has been looking over files, signing papers and all that corporate stuff. However, there was only one thing on his mind, my new wife. That was the first time he called his wife when he saw his performance in his living room. Hearing him sing, it felt like a little switch. It was amazing. He was clearly more than what Jungkook thought, but he still tries to convince himself that he is enemy and he should hate him. Done it. Jungkook was really starting to like the boy, not romantically, at least not yet, but he could see himself making them a friend. The feeling of guilty after seeing them had almost become overwhelming. Jungkook saw last time when he forced how Taehyung froze when Jungkook went back to the apartment for the file. It was not fair to make Tae feel unsafe in a place he lived. But this is my home, Jungkook reminds himself. I shouldn't trust him. There was no reason to trust Taehyung, and to Jungkook, penalty more reasons to get not trust him. He didn't know where they came from other than from Seoul, Korea. He was a mysterious. A mystery. Why was there a marriage clause in the will? There wasn't a lot that added up well with Taehyung. Jungkook didn't really see Taehyung grieve his father's death. He didn't see many emotions other than the less emotion they gave others. The first deep emotion he saw Taehyung produce was watching him cry in his bedroom. Jungkook wonders and wonder. He just never thought that hurt was possible option. In fact, he never even crossed his mind. He has tried many different things to take his mind off of Taehyung and focus on something different. Time escaped. Jungkook walked down the hallway and went to pops out into the living room. He sees Taehyung eating dinner at the table, just quietly eating in peace. He heard the footstep and looked up at him. When Jungkook popped out, Taehyung froze again and broke the rule again. I'm sorry, Taehyung stuttered out. I didn't know what time you came home. Jungkook looked at the boy. He was scared of him because he shouted at him once. Jungkook watched Taehyung as he started to collect his dishes. Jungkook couldn't help but say, I came home around this time every day. I am heading out tonight and wouldn't be back until tomorrow. You can stay where you are. Jungkook didn't even know why he was explaining himself. It was a big space. Jungkook could share it. No one should feel unsafe in a place they are staying. It was like they didn't hear him. They continued to take his things and went to the kitchen. Jungkook let out a sigh and walked to his room. There he changed into some jeans and now normal t-shirt. He even makes sure to packed his wallet with some money to pay for drinks. With that, he left the random apartments across town. Taehyung continued to hide away, thankful that Jungkook didn't yell at him. Tae is hoping that Jungkook's yelling at him was just one-time thing. So far, it does. He broke one rule of their first rules, and Jungkook was actually okay with it. After that interaction, they didn't see each other for a long week. Taehyung actually got a call back for his most recent audition. He called Yoongi right away. It was his second ever audition, and he got a call back to say the least. Taehyung was excited, but something was still bothering him. Taehyung's nightmare last night. Taehyung wasn't quite like his other ones. Before, he would feature his father doing awful things to him, calling him awful names. His nightmares were often like this. His old life and his new life sparkling in. These dreams were different. Time escape. Hi, Yoongi called me and asked me to talk to Tae. Minho said, oh my god. The maid rejoiced. He hasn't been himself for some time. He can barely get out of bed and eat. Recently, he wouldn't even come downstairs at all. He just spent his day sleeping or staring at the wall. I can't even imagine what he is thinking of. Minho never knew that Taehyung was going through something like this. He could be due to homesickness, but he is not sure until he speaks to the young man. Well, I will try to do my best to help him. Can you show me his room? The maid nodded and got Minho up to the stairs. In front of the door, he knocked. Taehyung, Mr. Jeon, Minho is here to see you. Can we came in? They heard a strange groan and she took that as a yes. The maid slowly opened the door and Minho took a look around the room. It was pretty clean. The floor was spotless, most likely due to the maid caring for the boy. Currently on the nightstand there is a tray with a bowl of cereal that is most likely soggy and the glass of water. Both looked untouched. The bed was a mess as well as the boy in it. The red hair tied up into a bun, wrinkled all black clothes that had been on long than they needed to. It was Mrs. Lee who told Yoongi about Taehyung and Yoongi sent Minho here. Taehyung was facing the door. He watched as the two walked through the door. Taehyung used whatever energy he had to push himself to talk to the guest. Hey, can I call you Taehyung? Minho asked. Taehyung nodded in agreement. I came to see you. Yoongi called me and said to check on you. He was really worried over the phone. He wished that he was here right now, but he is busy in work. Minho finished talking and all that was left was silent. Taehyung was just looking down to his fingers, so Minho took the opportunity to sit down next to him on the bed. The maid also took the opportunity to give them their privacy. I am going to be honest right now because I think you deserve it. You look terrible right now and smell bad too. Minho smiled, trying to make everything more lightheaded. It worked a little because Taehyung let out a little laughed sigh. Why don't you get out of the bed and take a shower? Is it I start to feeling better and smelling better too? While Taehyung showered, Minho made his bed for him. He tucked the sheets back in and fluffy out of pillows. They had a feeling what Minho wanted to do. He wanted to talk to Taehyung about his feelings. He was a therapist after all. After a while, they came out of the bathroom. Wow, you look good, Tae, Minho said, and Tae smiled a bit. Taehyung, as you know, I am a punctualist. I just wanted to let you know that I can care for you so much, even if I just met you. I can see how much pain you are in, how much you are struggling. I'm sorry that you are experiencing this right now and all alone. How can I help you? Minho asked while he was still drying his hair. Taehyung decided to make a step towards the recovery by talking to his new therapist friend. Right now, it feels hard to trust someone young. I don't want to let anyone down because sometimes I feel like a burden. Like right now, I am taking up your weekend time and I am wasting Jungkook's space by being in his life right now. Then I also keep letting Yoongi down by stop showing up to auditions. I'm just tired, like emotionally. I'm tired from showing up to auditions after auditions and fake smile and fake energy only to be rejected over and over and over again. And and again, with only reason being there is someone better than me. I am not arrogant, I am happy too. I got a reply at first, but they rejected me by saying they found someone else. I had confidence in my talent, but after a whole month of non-stopping rejections, I'm tired. I feel like I have a whole weight on me, a weight from my past and a weight from my present. I am just tired of dealing with everything. Minho was surprised by his rants. He didn't know Taehyung would feel comfortable to share with someone he was only meeting for the second time. Nevertheless, Minho was thankful. Taehyung Minho put on his mug, looks at a redhead in his eyes and grabs his hand. I want you to know that it is okay to feel this way and that was what you are going through is valid. This is a hard time for you and I am not judging. You took the first step to healthier mental state with me today and I am proud of you and I will meet you ever since in a while, Minho said and Taehyung nodded him. They talked about more and had lunch. Taehyung was feeling better now. It was Sunday. Jungkook was in an office room doing work and Taehyung got up, did his breakfast and go to the theater room to entertain himself and after 2 hours fall asleep in the same theater room outside as Mr. Jeon's office. Mrs. Lee took a deep breath and knocked on the door. She heard some papers shuffling and a pin drop as if Jungkook was surprised by the knock. He said, "Come in." Mrs. Lee gingerly opened the door and addresses the man. "Good evening, Mr. Jeon." He looked up from his work and saw the maid at the door. He muttered, looking back at his work. "What do you need, Mrs. Lee?" "Well, Mrs. Lee seems nervous to Jungkook and he was right. Taehyung fell asleep in the theater room and I want to move him to the bedroom. I am not strong enough to do so. I am wondering if you can please." There was a pause after Mrs. Lee's question. "Why wouldn't there be? Jungkook has not shown to like this boy one bit. Also, why would he? He is barely home or getting to know the boy. That truly have no relationship." What Jungkook did next took the maid by surprise. He nodded his head, got up from his seat and walked out of the room. He didn't say a word. Mrs. Lee just watching him walk up to the stairs to third room. Jungkook had not seen Tae for long. Were some days he wanted to see him and ask Tae how his day was. Other days Jungkook crushed his name just to squeeze the growing feeling of friendship. He pushed the door, which was already ajar, to see the red-haired boy spread across the couch. He was lying on the side and one hand hanging over the couch and a blanket barely on his feet. The TV was still playing a movie. Jungkook pulled the blanket off of his feet so he could place his one hand under his knees and one hand across his back. He carefully lifted Taehyung up as to not wake him up. Taehyung was surprisingly very skinny. Taehyung was never fat by any means, but Jungkook didn't think he would be this light. What he didn't know is that Taekook were basically be starving himself for many days. Unintentionally, he carried his wife across the house to his own room. Mrs. Lee was sitting at the desk, nervously looking at his hands. She whispered to the man once he walked in, "Thank you so much, Mr. Jeon." Jungkook looked down at the young man in his hand. He smiled a little. They looked rather peaceful when asleep. Strands of red hair framed his face. Jungkook was so up close to him that he discovered a small mole on his lip, eye, cheek, and nose. Cute, Jungkook thought to himself. He looked up and the maid and told her that it was no problem. He placed her on the bed where the covers were already drawn. Jungkook then just walked away, going back to his work for once. His mind was clear. Jungkook's POV: I had done my work and then after dinner I was going to my room. Mrs. Lee might be in her room as Taehyung was in his room, still sleeping. Thinking about him, I want to check on him before going to sleep. I don't know why I am a bit worried for him. From his weight, I can see he is not eating well. I want to check on Taehyung in his room. When room was slightly open, so I went in. When I went in, I saw him sitting and dressing in his sleep. He also had some tears in his eyes. Maybe he is having nightmare. What should I do? Should I call Mrs. Lee? I asked to myself, but she might be sleeping. I can't disturb her. I should wake him up, I thought, and put my hands on his hand. He is so soft, but what catches me off guard is the hold my hand tightly and slowly his breath become normal. I don't want to wake up him anymore as he is getting calm and sleeping peacefully, but he is still holding my hand. I am tired from all the work I had did today, so I just sit beside him. Maybe he will never leave my hand in a while. Time escaped. I was sleeping peacefully when I just felt somebody's body on me. I opened my eyes and looked beside me. Taehyung was hugging me like Kala. His hand was hugging my waist while his legs were on mine. His face was too close to me that I could feel his breath. My eyes fell on his lips, his pink hard lips. I was staring at him and moving closer to him as if something has possessed me. I don't know where this desire came from. Maybe the side effect of that day when I saw him dancing and singing for the audition in for from for Yoongi. My lips were about to touch his when he moved a little, which made me come into reality. I backed away and breathed heavily. What the heck I was going to do? I closed my eyes, but my lips and face were coming to my mind. I again opened my eyes and sat straight without making any noise. I grabbed the water bottle which was on the nightstand. I drank some water and then walked out of the room. I came to my room, lay down, tried to fall asleep, but sleep was away from my eyes. To be continued. So everyone, the next episode may be going to be the last episode of this story. I may or may not be working on the special episode. Let's see whatever my mind will let me do. Okay. Bye bye. Bye and don't forget to comment it down whatever you feel about the story. Bye bye.